Hello everyone. I'm just starting a minute or two early to make sure everything's okay because we're just having a storm. So the electrical storms off over more Brisbane way, but I just wanted to start at that minute or two early just to get sorted. So bear with me. I'm just about to just check all the comments and stuff. In the comments, I'm going to put some information, so just bear with me while I get all organized. Every week I always end up forgetting to introduce myself to start off with. I'm still learning the business side of life and being a little bit more, entrepreneurial and a little bit more business orientated. I kind of get in here and I'm so focused on being the teacher and all of that I actually forget to introduce myself. Hi Shakti, hi Karen. Please let me know where you guys are from. So my name's Jessica Beard. This is my third week in a row. I've been really each week settling in and being a little bit more confident each time. I start by doing a little bit of teaching about archetypes to really introduce the concepts, and then I do some readings towards the end. So I've been having some comments about there being technical difficulties. And I do have a storm tonight, so I'm hoping that everything's going to go okay. I'm working on getting faster uploads, but if anyone does have any problems in the future for the next hour, then unfortunately you might have to just try refreshing your page. If that doesn't work, you might have to watch the replay if you were after you're missing your reading or you wanted to listen about the teachings. So that's just a little bit of a tech stuff, boring tech stuff to start off with. So I've been running a special for my readings, and for September, someone is dinging me, so I can't see any problems. I've got Carrie Addison, I've got Donna, Kat Gray, Kerry from Brisbane, so that's wonderful. So the bookings for the readings, I've been doing readings for $25. I'm pretty much booked out there's a couple more for Tuesday and Wednesday, and I think that's all that's left for the month. So the link for the Calendly and the link for that special on the times is in the comment section, like the introduction section for this live, so in the info section. I'll also put it in the comments afterwards in case anyone is struggling to find it. Hi Sharon, how are you? So I wanted to jump in. I've at least remembered to introduce myself. Oh, and one last thing. Hi Lucia from Tasmania. I've put in the comment section my link to my newsletter. So tonight I'm also going to send out I did a 3-card reading on what to expect from the equinox we just had right up to the summer solstice. So I said to the universe, like, what archetypes are really coming into play for everybody right now, and I really enjoyed that reading. So if you wanted to see that newsletter, so just join that email newsletter just after this, and I'll send it off tonight. So that's all the business stuff out of the way. I wanted to just briefly, before we get to the readings, talk about the bully and the victim archetype. So I'll start with the bully because I recently in my life had a really interesting lesson of being with a bully and really observing that archetype. So it gave me a lot of insight in being able to help other people. And hi Samantha. Oh, so beautiful. And you're from Melbourne. So it's lovely to see you. So with the bully, when the archetype of the bully is activated, it's they're not just got that bully that's within them. So they'll drag along other archetypes that are at the same time. Now, each bully, whether or not they have the narcissist with the bully, they all have self-esteem issues from inside themselves. The reason that they need to bully is because they're just not happy with themselves. There's something or other that goes on with their self-esteem. It can be from their childhood. It could be they're in a toxic masculine environment. It could be in a toxic feminine environment. Like when females get together, quite often you'll have one that really will start to feed on being a bit of that bully, and the others kind of don't know if they want to join in or not. So um, it's one of those things which um, the best way of dealing with a bully is to really observe them and start looking at what else is going on around them. So the bully that I had to come into contact and really look at how to deal with it so that I didn't go into my victim archetype was actually he was a bully, but he had his child archetype was really out of balance. So when he bullied, he would actually be really childish, and he would also get triggered by really childish things. So I was able to observe um, how he really was triggered and how he went into his bullying. And he used to like to get other people to gang up on me, and it was just really bizarre because I felt like I was back in my childhood and a teenager, and I had to go through the whole angst years, and like I was really pushed to not go into my victim. And I have the knight archetype, so I like to fight for the underdog. But one of my triggers is injustice, and especially if the injustice is done towards me, like cannot anyone see what this man's doing? Can no one, stand up to him? Am I the only one that's going to observe what's going on right now? And so I really had to just be so aware not to go down into my victim, because if I go into my victim, then I go into my child, and then I go into my saboteur, and I give all of my power away. And that's what a bully is there to teach you, is not to give you power away. And not every bully can be confronted. We like to believe that you can, but some bullies, if they're malicious or if um, they're a narcissist, or if they're in a position of power over you in your workplace, well, sometimes it's not actually, you're just not able to. So, in the situation where I was, he was best friends with my boss, and they'd known each other for years, and I was a new person that had come in, and I had no real past history. So, anything I said had no real power. And I had this instinct that if I said anything, I would be considered the whinging female. So I actually just maintained myself. The only power I had was to actually not go into victim, to not go into it. And sometimes I would be vacuuming and I'd be like, deactivate the knight, activate the warrior. And I would just repeat over and over. I would put on essential oils so that when I smelt them, I was reminded not to go into that victim. So, my greatest advice when dealing with a bully is to really observe and learn about them. Stalk them as if they're a wild animal, and you have to you know, make sure you don't get bitten by them. So you learn their behaviors. Quietly ask about their upbringing, quietly ask about their lives, so that you kind of get an idea of what kind of bully they are. And if you can get a better idea of what bully they are, you can actually decide whether or not I have the power to confront this person and in my own sovereign self, and not go into that victim. And you might totally flip the situation, because the bully in that instance is just needs someone to confront it. They're just going to push, push, push. But if I really caution you that if you're not in a position of financial power and you're reliant on your job and you've got that bully, you just have to really tread warily and really assess also, um, are they a childish bully like I experienced? Are they malicious? Are they narcissistic? Or have they just got such severe self-esteem issues that if you actually bolstered that self-esteem and helped us see that they're capable, would that help heal it? So there's multiple ways where you don't have to go into that victim and fall into the poor me, I'm dealing with a bully, my workplace is toxic, all of those things, because it's really easy to fall into the victim. And I had moments where I would drop down there and like have that pout and that war, poor me. But ultimately, I had to just stick it out for long enough before I could leave that workplace. And not once did they see me cry, not once did they see me upset, not once did they see me affected. And it used to weak the bully out because I didn't react like he was expecting me to. I didn't give him the bite, the reactions that he normally gets. So you can actually really empower yourself when you're in that situation. And I really, um, I just, I encourage you to absolutely study them like they're a creature. And I know that sounds terrible, but it's really like if you can understand your bully, you can even sometimes develop a certain level of compassion. And I did that. I understood from his self-esteem what had happened to him because I asked enough questions. And once I realized why he was a bully, I felt empathy and compassion towards him. And then I was able to move into forgiveness and a higher vibration so much easier and just maintain my center and not fall out of that, because the only thing I had in the situation was my power and I was not giving it away for anything. And I highly encourage that. So that's our teachings. Um, I always like to give a little bit each week before we get to the fun stuff, which is of the readings, because you need to have an understanding of the things that I can do and learn to build trust in me as well, so that I at least sound like I know what I'm doing. Oh, thank you, Karen. I I teach what I know, and unfortunately, I think most of us do that by learning things the hard way. And I find it quite amusing that we all tend to really do it that way. But we teach and we heal what we know. And I also had that element as I'm really in this exchange with the bully. I was like, okay, if I'm going to help other people that are in this situation, I need to work out exactly how I'm doing it and how I am surviving this and how can I teach this, because I'd already had started my side hustle, as they call it, um, which is moving into coaching and counselling with the archetypes and then readings. And uh, oh, thank you, Asta. You're really lovely too. And one other thing that I'm going to say, oh, Angel, what a beautiful name. I think you've got the beautiful soul too. The other thing that I'll say that came up in my readings this week, I was quite booked out this week, which was fantastic. And quite a few times the people that I was giving readings to were really on that cusp where they had been doing a side hustle, as we call it. And my advice to them was um, stop calling the spiritual stuff the side hustle, and your normal job is your side hustle. So when you introduce someone, you're like, hi, I'm a Reiki healer and distant healing, or hi, I do coaching and such. And then if they ask, you can then tell them that you also are a teacher, or you are a nurse, or you walk dogs for a living, or anything like that. So I really feel like with how magnetized everything is at the moment, that we need to watch our words a little bit better and lead with what we're wanting. So if we're wanting to move into a a archetype and a way, like a healer or whatever kind of business, you need to start actually saying that that's what you are. You know, so you're introducing it, and every single person that you say that to now holds the energy and the belief that you are a healer and you are a reader and you are or whatever you're wanting to do. So flip your words around. I've been finding that coming up over and over in quite a few of the readings. So I think it's like a really occurring theme at the moment. We need to step into who we are. So let's see who we have got that's been leaving some comments. Oh, Cat Gray, the bully in our household, has been bullied most of his life. That's a hard one because it's a learned behavior, and if someone's been bullied, they're essentially really distrustful. They don't trust that good things can happen to them, so they act in total defense from the get-go of everything. I believe that through loving coaching words, you might be able to help that bully because they're not bullying out of just a self-esteem, you know, like there's something wrong. It's a learned behavior. So I have hope about that one for you. And if you don't want to deal with the bully anymore, then that's hard. But the bully themselves has to really want to change, but they need to know that they can. So we're going to scroll back up the top. Okay. So where have we got? Hi from the conjure. That's amazing. Lucia. Am I saying that right, Lucia? I'm really terrible with saying people's names correctly, but when I'm in person, it rolls off my tongue like I'm a native to the country and I don't know how I wing it. But if I read it, it's all over. So you're liking some insight on expanding your work. Let's see what archetypes we've got coming into play. Archetypes. The fault line. Oh, that's dramatic. What else? I'm going to do 3 for you. These are quite tumultuous cards. I've been saying big words like that today, tumultuous. I don't really know where it's coming from because I'm not really someone that's overly wordy all the time. Okay, you have some fairly epic cards. You have the fault line, then you have the vow, and then you have the destroyer. So the fault line is like you're on really shaky ground. You've got 2 different ideas, or you're being pulled in 2 different directions, or there might even be in the business 2 different people's energy, and it's like you don't know which way to turn. Should I make this decision? Should I make that decision? I feel really unstable. I don't know what's happening in my future. I don't know what's going to go on. So when I drew the vow the next time, like this one here is one of my favorite cards, but it's not a mild card. The vow is when I make a sacred vow to the universe, to my higher self, and to everything. When you make a vow to actually do something, you need to watch what you say, and you need to make sure that you're holding the right intent and that you are actually ready for it. And that's what the fault line's asking. And your third card is the Destroyer. The Destroyer is when we need to destroy things that we're lying to ourselves about. It's when the universe comes in and pulls a rug out beneath you and you're like in shock. You're like, how could this be happening? So the key to the three of these cards is that vow. You've got to come to that place in yourself and go, okay, I truly am ready for this. I'm going to call this in and be very specific. All these cards give a feeling of like you're just really uncertain and unsure, but you need to come to that point within yourself where you're like, oh, I'm set. I'm doing this. And make that sacred vow. I kind of get a feeling like it's a really scary idea, like a really like hit or miss. You know, I'm taking a massive roll of the dice, and it really comes down to if you make that vow and put that energy in, then you'll get what you want. But you're really going to have some really big lessons in it, and even maybe a rocky start where there might be a few failures, and you're like, I don't know, the earth's crumbling beneath me. But if that energy of the vow, it really is so immense. And if you stick to your guns and you go, no, this is the future I am demanding, and continue to work towards it, then I think you will have success. But you've got to, you have to have that vision, and you've got to hold on to it for dear life, because there will be stuff that will happen. So, are you in a current business now, or are you looking to change? Let me just have a little peek and see if you've had any other things. Please let me know if you've started your business and if there's somebody or other else that's involved in it, so I can really get a little bit of a better sense. Okay. Cat Grey, are you going to move house? So we'll do Cat Grey and then we'll go to Shakti. So would you like to move house? Do you really want to? That's my question that just pops into my head. Cat Grey house. What archetypes are in play for cat? The village. Start. Okay, so Cat, you've got the village. The village is, it's both you craving to have people that are like-minded and people that resonate and people that make you feel wholesome and loved, like your tribe, and really cool. But that card can also mean that somebody is trying to hold you within the village. You're trying to break out and you're being held back. So I kind of getting the feeling that it's a bit of both. You're wanting to be more aligned with people that are similar to yourself and having that real connected feeling, but there is something holding you back. The second card is the Starborn. So the Starborn is wanting to seek your tribe yet again. It's a galactical card. It's your soul family. It's the people that you resonate you might feel like you're a little bit uh, different from other people, and that card's like, I really want to find my family. I really want to find connection. And the final one's the thread, and the thread talks to you about um, seeing the connections that are there. So it can be the connections to what's holding you there, whether or not there are some village members that want to contain you, they don't want you to break free. They could be saying really nice things to your face, but then behind your back they're whispering and going, that's not going to happen. And I'm not saying they're bitching about you, but they could be holding that intent that you're not going to move and that you're not going to have that shift that you need to. So you need to be really careful with who you're sharing, your essence and who you are, because the threads, like that connection of like, what's going on with all my lessons, what are common themes, what's that connection. But it's also a card that's asking you to really look out for signs. So if you're wanting to see, where to move or when am I moving, start asking for signs. And I mean, sometimes they're so hysterical. Like I pulled the river card, which is like going with the flow. And then my friend lost her car keys at a giant shopping center, and I'm just like saying prayers as we're driving back that we find it. And I'm like, she's like apologizing. I'm like, no, no, I drew the card, we've gone with the flow, whatever happens happens, we're going with the flow. And I just surrendered, just kept praying that we found it. And she did find the keys quite quickly and easily, actually. But then when I came home, I'm following this truck with interflow, and I'm just seeing water this, water that, and everything. And I was smiling so much at the cosmic joke of it all, because that is that thread. That is what that card means. Is how you build that relationship with spirit and with the divine, because you're trusting your intuition, you're seeing that connection between everything, and that there's no way I can see that much things about water. They were little threads for me to see, so that I know that, I stayed in my high vibration, I prayed, I didn't go into fear, I didn't go into drama, and that's the universe's way of saying, congratulations, you did a great job. Here, have a good laugh. And so look for the threads, ask for the signs, and ask for those threads in both directions. Ask the positive ones, where do I move, what's happening, is it time to move? But then also look to see if there's any connections of why you haven't moved and what's those threads. So now, I hope that helped. Now, we've got Shakti. Could I please receive a card? And thank you. Shakti, you haven't asked for one in any specific area, so I'm just going to take a little sip of water. I'll be a second. I've done a lot of talking today, but I don't know if you can tell, but I love to talk. So, Shakti, could I please receive a card? What archetypes and what guidance does Shakti need to hear right now? Oh, that energy just made me go, oh, beautiful. Let's do another one. Yours is all very much a brand of the divine feminine, Shakti, which, considering your name, I shouldn't be shocked. We have the womb card. So the womb is a deeply creative time. It's about honouring the feminine. I know quite a few of my friends who've been able to really work with manifestation around doing womb work. Like they'll picture the thing that they want to change, to heal, to manifest, and they'll see it going down into the womb and being supported. It can actually be a call to really loving your divine feminine aspects, loving your body, loving the process. You got the desert card next, which then you've got the vessel. So it almost seems to me like you've had this feeling and this desire for connection and the divine feminine and honoring your body, being honored as a woman. And then there's been a period of time where that's kind of felt like, so the desert is like I'm wandering around in the desert and I don't know where the next drink of water is. So it can be quite a lonely card, almost like other people didn't quite get you, or you were really desiring a partner and they weren't coming forward like you needed to or wanted to. The vessel, that's such a beautiful card. That's literally like holding that divine energy, um, and holding the divine feminine and being the vessel for other people and being the vessel for the sacred and the divine masculine. So it also, like, do you do energy work? Are you a healer? Do you do stuff with the divine feminine? Because these cards are indicating that, well, you do, even if you don't know that you're doing it. And with that desert card, don't give up hope. The vessels come right after it. So if you're calling in a relationship or you've been feeling lost in any way, you're coming out of the other side of it. And sometimes when we go through that initiation period and we're going through a death and a rebirth, we do have to have that. Oh, here comes the rain. That's interesting. We're in the midst of a storm, and rain just as we're talking about the divine feminine and being the vessel. So you don't get caught up in that desert energy because the vessel's coming through straight after it. And I feel like, so I'm going to use the cup. It's like you're a cup and you've been stretched and stretched and stretched to, so that you can hold more liquid, more love, more light, more energy. So there's a beautiful reading and really positive. I really want to know if you do work with the divine feminine or if you're called to, because those cards are saying that. Okay. Belinda, hi, I'm new. Did you want a reading, Belinda? If you do, just let me have a little bit of an idea. Kat, you've been trying to help him for many years. Ugh, sometimes the bully just doesn't want to be helped, but sometimes they don't know how to ask for help. Maybe be really blunt and try and just say, are you happy being this way or do you want to change? If you haven't tried bluntness, I really recommend it, but I'm an Aries, so, sometimes my communication's like a 4v2 to the head. But I don't like to burn too much people, but I can be unknowingly blunt, and then I'll come back the next day and apologize to people because I didn't realize I was being blunt. Katie, mine was my partner and he was a narcissist but went into the bully and the victim as well. Yes, that's a really important point, Katie, because the bully can quite easily flip into the victim if he's called upon his bullshit, or if it's a female. So I shouldn't just say a male, but in this case it is. Like if they're bullied and they're confronted, they can go into that victim really easily because it's a self-esteem issue. Bullies are at heart got poor self-esteem. That's why they bully. So thank you for mentioning that. Have left for now, but still finding it difficult. Most people who have called in a narcissist into their life, they had to so that they would learn boundaries. So Katie, he came into your life and it was difficult and he taught you all this stuff. Don't go back to it and don't repeat the pattern. You've learnt you need to have your boundaries and just stay in your I am. Don't go back to it. Don't repeat the cycle. Don't need another bully. Don't need another narcissist. It's time to call in and go, this is, this is my boundary, this is me, and I don't want this, or this. I do want this, or this. And really being conservative, because a lot of people who call in a narcissist are empaths, and empaths can give too much of themselves away, and that's when the empath goes into shadow. So you can't help others if you're absolutely drained yourself. It's like they say in the airplanes, you've got to put your mask on first before you put it on your child, and that repulses people. But at the same stage, in this instance, it's like that. If you have to look after yourself, because then you can actually be of service to the planet and to other people. If you're completely depleted, you're in your victim, you're in every single one of them, you're in your shadow, your empath is drained, and you've been there, done that, don't go back. Really, please don't. Christy. I have a family member who was bullied a lot as a teenager, and now she is the bully. I have withdrawn from her, but she is changing. Can you give me guidance on how to move forward, please? So I have a friend who was bullied a lot and then in turn bullied. You can usually get to that point where you can have that blunt conversation, but it has to be done in a way when they're ready for it. And so it's usually a quiet time, even when they're not feeling like they're going to be confronted, and you can really lead the conversation with, like, I wanted to ask you something, and I've been wanting to for a while, but I didn't want to upset you. So you can gently lead into it, and just see whether or not are you aware that I know you were really bullied, but then you've turned around and gone into that. Like, I would need more information about the bully and her type to see whether or not she's open to that. And you could always just try. I mean, if you're at that stage where you, it's already been happening for so long, is it worth trying? And yes, it probably is. You might as well give it a go because everything else is not working. I'm going to draw you a card because I feel like there's more going on than just her. Oh, that's the destroyer. The destroyer is great change. Like we had it with it previously. It's the rug being pulled out beneath your feet. It's a shock. It's an ending. So let me just see whether or not that's referring to her. Oh, that's initiation card. That's Anima Mundi. That's shamanic. That's that connection with everything. Oh, this is, fairly epic. So, the destroyer. So I really feel like she's holding that energy as the bully, and she is being destructive, but she's also ready for immense change. So that card there, Anima Mundi, it's very shamanic in its energy. So it's one of the only 8 of the initiation cards in the whole deck. It's a time for when you must face what you're doing, and it's also a time for really connecting with the spiritual and esoterical side of life. So have you noticed this family member kind of speaking a little bit more spiritually, or curious or open to it? Do you talk about spiritual concepts with this person? The underworld, which speaks for itself. It's not fun. It's that journey into the dark. It's that journey into the shadow. I don't see your bully, your family member, having like an easy time of it. You could even go to her if you're feeling comfortable, or him. Can't remember if I read it was a girl or boy. and having that discussion, because if they continue to bully because they've been bullied, then they call into their life really hard lessons. I kind of feel like she's going to have one, or he's going to have one anyway. So um, that Animal Monday, that's that time of like, I must change because my life is quite awful. Sometimes that archetype just goes boom into your life, and like you're in that chaotic, almost dazed, and then all these things happen. It's usually quite spiritual. The underworld is asking for them to really look at themselves, because they're causing their reality, they're causing their problems, they're causing their health issues, they're causing everything by doing to others what was done to them. And she needs to understand that concept. I keep saying she. I don't know if it is a woman, but that's what's coming out of my mouth. So they need to understand that they, Ho'oponopono. I was talking about this today. Have you ever heard of the Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono? It's I see you, I love you, I thank you, I forgive you, or I think that's the four of them. Google that. If you can't find it, because I think I'm butchering the word, just go and send me a message. My page is Inner Alchemist, and send me a private message, and I'll send you some links, because that might be both powerful for you and for the bully. Okay. Lucia. Sounds like chi. Luci. Oh God. Lucia. Luci. Luci. Terrible. Could I receive a card in a situation with Daniel, please? Thank you. Oh, Shakti, I didn't read that one till afterwards. I'll see how I go. Belinda, what are these cards, please? They are The Wild Unknown Archetypes by Kim Crayons. They come in a round box, The Wild Unknown Archetypes, and they're nothing short of amazing. Asta, Family of Origin Issues. I am the black sheep, long and ongoing. I would appreciate a reading. All right, Asta, my little black sheep. I'm a black sheep too. I'm loved by my family, but I'm very different. So what archetypes has Asta got coming through? Okay, Asta. The Castle. Okay, Asta, your reading is it's more relationship based than being the black sheep. Kind of maybe a bit of both. The Castle card, it tells us like, are we being a little bit too materialistic? Like, maybe in your instance, your family expects you to, go become a lawyer or an accountant, and you want to be a healer or something totally different. It's usually when there's a lot of materialism involved. Either you're really acquiring it and obsessed about it and wanting it, or it is you've got plenty of it, and you need to let it go. You know what I mean? Like, you not let it go, you got to not be afraid of spending the money. It has another literal term of like building your castle, like your foundation, really thick walls, your boundaries. So it's like you've got a desire to have your own family that's a little bit more aligned, so that you're not the black sheep anymore. the flame comes in, which is highly creative. It can be a creative project, like you're a creative person. It can be a relationship, so that you're wanting a relationship, a flame, that real energy. I almost feel like you're really creative and the rest of your family is not. Um, you have the energy of Bardo. The Bardo is forgiving, um, and it's forgiving the unforgivable. It is about self forgiveness and really self acceptance that you are absolutely amazing and beautiful the way you are, and that your family might want to change you or for you to be different like they are, but it's not going to happen. I really feel like I just feel like you need to build your sense of self, like who you are, your happiness. Um, don't like there's a certain amount of grieving that needs to be done when you are that black sheep, because you literally can't be like them, and they really want you to be, and a part of you really wants to be, within the village, within the fold, within that. But then there's another part of you that like really embraces being different and loving who you are. And that reading there and that forgiveness card, like forgive them for they know not what they do. That just came Bible reference. But like I think that's a Bible reference. So really forgive them, continue to work on anything that's creative. That flame has came in. That flame is highly creative. It's you being drawn to something and you need to pursue it. And the castle is don't hold on to money and materialistic things when you are in the pursuit of a creative project. But don't also pauper yourself. Don't believe that you have to be an impoverished artist or anything else like that. Build that solid foundation of who you are, what you love, and embrace being the black sheep. Really creative. I just keep seeing that flame. So, do you have really creative desires? Are you an artist? Do you want to create anything? I'm really curious at that. Okay, Karen Nolan, you would love a reading, thanks. Well, let's see what Karen has got coming through. Karen, what archetypes do you? Ooh, that's not a pleasant first card, Karen. You've been through a lot. So, Karen Nolan, have you been through a tough time lately? Oh, best card to get after that one. What else have I got? Okay, very clear reading, Karen. I'll just scroll down and see if she has replied. Oh, I can't see it. I'm going to go back up. So, I'm behind on comments, guys. So, Karen, the underworld. I'm going to try and go a little bit faster. The underworld. So you have been through a deep exploration. Things have happened to you. You've been through the wars, or a spiritual activation or self-exploration where a lot's been going on and you've felt really overwhelmed. You have had the nectar. So this is coming in. So the nectar is, I must do this to nourish my soul. I need to feel this self-love. I need to do the things that fill me with love, with joy, so that I just feel like everything's going to be okay. So you do the things that bring you joy. You brought in the Hunter card. The Hunter is twofold. It is the pursuit of your vision. So if you've got something you want to do, or if you just want to work on self-love, or there's something that you need to work on, you hunt, hunt, hunt. You don't stop, you keep going. But that Hunter card is also asking you, and it could be tied in with that Underworld card of like, if people have done stuff to you, um, are you trapped in that hunter energy where you'd be like, I'm hunting, why am I hunting, and what tool am I holding onto to hunt? So if you're having a few vengeful thoughts against somebody who's done something to you, you must go into nectar now, which is self-love. And it's it's hard for me to say that sometimes because I don't know the situation. Sometimes really tough things happen to people, but this card is coming up saying, you need to let it go, and to be, stop hunting, stop hunting, stop hunting, and if there is any kind of vengeful thoughts, you need to move into forgiveness. It's time to stop hunting. You don't need that focus anymore. You can take that deep breath, and you can really just go into that nectar and that self-love. Remember, the hunter is twofold. It's a fine line. One side of it, yes, I have a vision, I'm going to hunt, 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 and you can use that as a powerful tool and energy to go forward. But if there is anyone or any situation that you're bitter about and that you're holding vengeful thoughts towards, you must let it go, because there is joy and there's nectar and there's soul happiness waiting to come through. So I really hope that one helped. Now, okay, Kat. I'm solid in my intentions with my intuitive business. That has two parts to it: art, reading, and healings. Lucia, Luci. Oh shit! I'm gonna, yeah. I'm almost gonna ring you just so you can tell me how to say your name. Terrible. Luci. Anyway, I feel like with that card that came up first, with the ground and the decisions. So with your business, really put it out there and ask, is there something more that I can be doing? And if you feel like the earth's shaking a little bit, like, oh, that's a bit of a scary idea, then you can go into that vow and make it. But you have to make the vow and the commitment, because it's a scary idea. So if there's something that seems a bit like an overwhelming concept, or you're really pushing you out of your comfort zone, these cards be asking you to do that. Whether it's get on Facebook Lives like this one, or some other thing that's making you step up a little bit more and you're really uncomfortable, and you're like, I don't know if I can do that. The only way to move through and push that energy is that sacred vow. And it will, I really see like some difficult kind of up and downs, rockies. Have I made the right decision? But you've got to make that vow. Cat Gray, if he's your tribe and you feel really good with him, then move with him, and you might find even more tribes. Be careful who you be more conscious of the people. And I see, sometimes people can have their best face and mask on, but it's, you use that intuition and discernment is the word, really discern, and you might find more people live, so if he, don't move with a bully, I think that means you're the nice guy, so go with him. Um, so um, there is quite a few more of these. I'm just going to scroll down. 2 black sheep. Oh, somebody sent 50 stars. I'm not quite sure what that means. I'll have to ask what 50 stars are. I'm still learning all these different things. But Asta, you're spot on. Yeah, into the black sheep. Started to do more soul horrors rather than more traditional art. I did, and I'm learning to embrace my psychic and medium shifts. That's perfect, Asta. You keep doing that. That just makes me go whew, and feel really enlightened. You know, that's lovely. Christy Lee sent another 50 stars. I don't know what the 50 stars are, so I I don't. I'm gonna thank you for them because it feels good. I and thank you. So let me just scroll back up and see. Casey Morrison, I'd love some guidance, please. All right, Casey. Let's see what comes through for you. Oh, how am I doing for time? 8:10. We've still got enough for one. If I can squeeze another one in, I'll see what I can do. Okay, Casey. What archetypes are we? Ooh, the one. That's lovely, Casey. What else have we got? Whoop. Sorry, we're having trouble playing that video. Did we just lose me? I can't see myself. Can someone comment and let me know that they can still see me because my screen just went black? Okay. Is anyone? Oh, I'm just going to continue because my count is on, so I think it's okay. So the one, what else have we got? The threshold. You've got no video, but can you hear me? Oh, you can see me. Well, I can't see myself, so it's a bit weird. It says black and it says, sorry, we're having a trouble playing the video. So, okay. Oh, wow. So, Christy's reading is the one. That is that real desire to find a partner, but also to find yourself. So I'm not sure in which one it is for you at the moment because both of your other cards are very expensive. So I can't tell if you can see these or not. The threshold is that I'm ready to take that leap of faith. It's a beautiful card. It's like fully anticipating stuff. It's absolutely amazing. I'm about to take this leap into the unknown. If it is a relationship, you're about to take a leap into, deciding to be in that relationship. The empty room doesn't come up for me very often, so it's really interesting. It's sitting in that sacred space and really feeling who you are, who's in the room with me. Am I going to fill this room with a lot? Being happy with yourself, being happy with sitting in your own space. It's all three of them are cards which are you're finding yourself. that's what those cards are all saying, and it's going to be more of an explanation and much more of an exploration. I just pulled one to cut the deck just to see if there was another final one, and it's the heart. So I really think you need to continue with that self-love and who am I and what's my purpose. Call it in, call in exciting stuff. Go, I need a lesson, give me a sign. If you're drawn to a certain book, if you're drawn to a healing modality, if you're drawn to a healer, if you're drawn to any of those things, then you really need to honor that, and you really need to just have fun with it. That threshold card, that one, feeling one with everything and one with myself. And sometimes it's calling in the one, your potential partner. But I think with these cards, it's more like a self exploration, intuition, spiritual journey. All of those three cards are about that. You're doing it, continue to do it. Happy to be in a room of your own. Are you able to teach other people to be happy in a room by their own? Because there's a lot of people that need that at the moment. So I just feel like this is a call for you to just continue with your path. Maybe put it out there and start asking, okay, should I start embodying a bit of all these different things and move into being a bit more of a teacher, a bit more of a healer? Is there something, like I think you really need to call it in and ask for signs, ask for guidance. It's like there's a new epiphany or a new modality or a new teachings that you haven't really been drawn to, but are ready to, they're there and waiting to be learned. So self-belief and trust is what you need to work on. I feel like you've been doing quite a lot on that, and that's a bit of a program which your saboteur is actually using as a bit of a crutch. With these cards, like these ones are telling me that you've been doing this and you really understand it and you're kind of embodying it a little bit. So maybe it is time to be stepping up and being a little bit more serious about it. So it's 8:15, guys. So I've come to the end of my hour. It's been utterly amazing. I've really enjoyed tonight. Remember, there is a couple more spaces for the $25 readings. So it goes for an hour. You get 9 cards, 3 for your present, 3 for your past, 3 for your future, and sometimes some more come up with that as well. And also in the top of the comments is my newsletter link, because I'm about to send out a newsletter for what 3 archetypes are going to be really at play and at work for all of us right up until the summer solstice. And I don't think any of you are going to be surprised about what's coming. It's really interesting, and it's positive, but it's very transformative. So I'm so sorry I didn't get to everybody. I would really love to be on here for 5 hours if I need be and get to every single one of you, but I only do have the hour, and I'm not sure if there's somebody else coming up. So it's been an honour. It's been a pleasure, and don't forget to reach out if you need any help. My page is inneralchemist.org on Facebook. So inneralchemist.org is like the little username, easy link. And I think, yes, I changed my picture to my face. It used to be a fingerprint, so it makes me easy to find. You've all continue to have an absolutely fantastic Friday night. Many blessings, COVID crossroad blessings is what I'm calling them. So we're all having a bit of a tough time of it, but then again, we're not. It's the story that we tell and the things that we've got. So love it. Much love to everybody. I hope you can still see me after all that. It's as black as anything. Much love.